I've been really obsessed with outdoor gardening and I love it. It really fills my soul to be out there creating something beautiful with nature. This brings me to the topic today, which is the benefits of nature on aging and health. So often we're focused on diet and exercise for aging well. I don't know about you. I eat healthy and I exercise, but it's a little overplayed, the diet and exercise and longevity conversation. I'm a little bored and tired of it. And so I thought we should expand the conversation to include things and the science behind nature. So today I'm going to share a 2024 article looking at the benefits of nature. Stay tuned. Let's learn about it together. If I'm not looking at you, it's because I'm looking at the article so I can give you accurate information. This article looked at the impact of nature on health, from heart health, brain health, inflammation, and mental health. When it came to nature, these were the aspects of nature that they were looking at. Forest bathing. So forest bathing, Shinrin-yoku, is a Japanese art of forest bathing. This is where you walk into a forest without any other sensory devices. So no headset, listening to anything. You simply walk slowly, mindfully in nature, breathing in and out and taking in the experience of being in nature. Also, hiking in natural areas was one of the nature conditions that they looked at. A therapeutic garden. I'm going to put a link in the show notes to what a therapeutic garden is. Virtual reality. So could you just be near looking at images of plants and forest sound? So just listening to forest sounds. And so the images of plants and animals and forest sounds are really important, especially if a person is bedbound or homebound and doesn't have access to going to a therapeutic garden or hiking in a natural area or forest bathing. Here's what the study found. So regarding physical aspects, there were cardiovascular and pulmonary benefits. One of the notable results points to a reduction in blood pressure. So after spending time in nature, people had reduced heart rate, improved lung function, reduced heart failure biomarkers, reduced cardiac variation, and reduced vasoconstriction. From neuroimmunoendocrinological, so this is brain health and inflammation, studies pointed to positive results in reducing inflammation and activation of the immune system. The result of one study showed a reduction in biological markers of heart failure as a consequence of the attenuation of the inflammatory response. There were gains in lung function as well, and there was a reduction in the amount of cortisol. So here's what's really important. All of these studies were with older adults. So also, these studies, some of them didn't exclude if a person had Alzheimer's disease or didn't exclude if a person had cardiovascular disease, and we're still finding benefits. Other studies in this meta-analysis found improvement in cognitive decline after an intervention in nature. Others pointed to reduced tension, anxiety, and fatigue, increased well-being, increased happiness and empathy, improved negative mood states, reduced stress, improved sleep and quality of life, and reduced depression after spending time in nature. Okay, so then the question is, so how much time do you have to spend in nature to get a benefit? Some researchers said from 40 minutes to 2 hours a day, depending on the number of weekly sessions. But the literature lacks consensus regarding the ideal exposure time to nature. There were two studies that had different perspectives. One study looked at close to 20,000 individuals and recommended 2 hours of exposure to natural environments, either in one single visit or brief multiple visits a week. Another study, on the other hand, said it's actually not quantity, it's more quality, and emphasized the importance of quality moments and the appreciation of emotional interactions with the natural environment to promote well-being. In essence, the emphasis lies on the meaningful connection with nature beyond mere contact. So as I mentioned, the people who participated in this study were really different from one another. They were all older adults, but they had pre-existing diseases and conditions like hypertension, diabetes, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and chronic heart failure, mental illness, depression, and Alzheimer's disease. And so there are benefits whether you're living with these diseases or not. So with this meta-analysis, the researchers said being in person with nature gives you the most bang for your buck. But there are situations where, like I mentioned earlier, where people cannot be physically present in nature. It's not physically possible. Maybe you're bedbound. I worked with many people with spinal cord injuries for years who were bedbound and paralyzed from the neck down and didn't have access through transportation to nature. And so then researchers said, if being physically present in nature is not an option, then virtual reality can be also a feasible intervention and you still get benefits. They're not as profound, but they're still better than nothing. Just seeing videos of nature, looking at magazines of nature, having plants nearby, forest sounds had some benefits as well.